Why are you so tired?
Sorry, I just haven't had my coffee yet.
Oh, and you can't live, laugh, love without it.
Yeah, maybe we should roll the intro. Hello and welcome back to The Real Deal, Ball State's premier student-run entertainment news and pop culture network. I'm your guest host this week, Josh Pavlovsky.
And I'm your co-guest host, Maggie Weberding.
Us here at RD went to the Heartland International Film Festival on October 5th at Newfield's Art Museum in Indianapolis.
It was the beginning of their premiere rollout for this season's festival with many great films.
We almost lost the footage.
You can ask Sean about that.
We took an hour's drive in the pouring rain, but when we finally got there, we got to interview some awesome filmmakers on their red carpet.
It was my first time, so I was a little nervous, but I think it turned out great.
Other than almost losing the footage, of course.
Heartland is an indie film festival where many smaller filmmakers get their chance to shine. The energy was so litty. Let's take a look at our first interview.
Hi, you guys look amazing tonight. I love the shoes. Oh my God, everything looks great. So what film are we representing tonight?
We're with Hellcat. It's an Indiana Spotlight film.
Okay, yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
Do you want to tell them?
I'll let you
No,
go ahead.
okay. Well, Hellcat is a story about an aging rock star who actually has lost his son. He's and in the process of losing his son, kind of abandons life as he knows it. This is now 3 years later. He comes back in the exploration of what's the next step in life. And for him, he thinks it may be over until he meets another young man who kind of shows him a new possibility of what life can present to him.
Awesome, that sounds like an emotional roller coaster. What was the inspiration for this film?
Well, I was the writer and director on it, and so the inspiration, I actually work at Anderson University and drive through the city of Anderson, and so part of that was just a manufacturing town that kind of has seen its ups and downs and changes in just what it's like to be a kind of a Midwestern town like that. And so starting with that idea and then actually with a smaller film like ours, I built it around an actor who could play that part really and explored that story of fatherhood.
Yeah, and do we have any future projects in the works or planning or anything like that?
There will be things in the future for sure, and so I had the chance to finance it. So I was the executive producer, and John was the DP, and so then Jack and I are married. So
Yep.
He has some books in the works and all of that. So
Yeah, there's always ideas going. What we'll do next, I don't know exactly, except that we're still in recovery mode right now. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming out with us tonight, and I hope you guys have a great night. I hope to see your film. I really do. It sounds great.
Come out.
Thank you so much.
The thinnest layer of the earth? Oops, sorry. Anyways, what a great clip.
Yeah, well, we almost lost it.
Oh, Sean just ran out of the room crying?
Oh well. Anyway, can we talk about how many filmmakers showed up?
Oh, I know. There were like at least 5 people there.
Yeah. Maybe we should just look at our next interview.
Oh, great.
So what movie are you premiering tonight?
Tokyo Cowboy.
Tokyo Cowboy. So what's that about?
It's about a Japanese businessman who goes to Montana
Okay.
to make this cattle ranch into a premium Wagyu beef cattle ranch, like improve this cattle ranch. So it's like this fish out of water story.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of humor in it, and it's also really impactful, kind of heartwarming story.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what influenced you to tell this story? Like, how'd you?
30 years ago, I lived in Japan, and I did an apprenticeship with a Japanese filmmaker, a guy named Yoji Yamada.
Okay.
He's 91 years old now, and he just released the 91st film. of his career.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, that's
So I returned back from that experience, and there was an article in Outside Magazine called Samurai Slickers, and it was about a ranch in Montana that was owned by a Japanese company, and they would send workers over to learn how to become cowboys. I'm like, that is a really interesting juxtaposition of two cultures,
Yeah.
Tokyo and Montana. So it was just an idea that kind of stuck in my head, and 30 years later, I'm like, let's make a feature film out of this. And
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. And so how does it relate to like past works you've done and what you want to work on in the future?
Yeah. This is my first feature film. I had a long career. I've had a long career in like television and documentary and corporate industrial work, and then I always knew that at some point I would do a feature. And so one of my good friends from college is a guy named Brigham Taylor, and he's a really well-known Disney producer. He did Pirates of the Caribbean and Jungle Book, and then I worked with him on a film called Christopher Robin for Disney. I did all the behind-the-scenes like bonus features, and I mentioned to him that I really wanted to do a feature film, and he was gracious enough to say, well, tell me what idea you have. And I told him about this little nugget of an idea, and he was kind of interested because it was so different from doing a studio film, an independent film where we really didn't have to answer to anybody else but ourselves, and just
You guys were
figure
not-
out where the story is going. Didn't really have to be really formulaic. It could just kind of like live as a film. And he and I are both inspired by independent films, and so like we took some inspiration from films like, I really loved a film called Tender Mercies, and Minari, and Babette's Feast, and a film called Local Hero that kind of is a little bit like this film, Tokyo Cowboy, Local Hero is. So we started off on this adventure, and
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So this being your first debut film, did you really like all the independence that came along with it? Be more of an independent.
yeah, it was a really amazing experience to do an independent film, and I had to raise the money from private investors, and put this crew together. We found a really great local crew in Montana. We shot in the Paradise Valley near Livingston, Montana, and then we were in Tokyo. Really short, compact schedule. We shot like 15 days in Montana and 5 days in Tokyo, and the process was amazing, and I can't wait to do another one, depending on how people respond to this one. So
of
we'll
course.
see. Yeah.
So I apologize if you already told me, but are you from around here? Or?
I am originally from San Diego,
San Diego. Wow.
and I am now living in Los Angeles. And actually 25 years ago, when I was a student, I was a graduate film school student at UCLA, I had a short film called The Snow Child, which came to the Heartland Film Festival 25 years ago. And I won the Jimmy Stewart Memorial Crystal Heart Award for that. And so the Heartland Film Festival has always kind of had a tender spot in my heart.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to come back here, especially if I could do a feature film. So I'm really gratified and excited to be here.
Yeah, well, awesome. I think that's all I got for you. So it was
All
nice
right.
talking to you.
Thank you. All right.
I just wanted a little pop with some blue in my hair on the red carpet at the Heartland Film Festival.
So good, even the president of Disney Channel would say we made history.
On a more serious note, we'd like to mention that we learned a lot about some touching films. For example, I interviewed one filmmaker who documented his father's grieving process after losing their wife.
Another film looked into the Holocaust, and they interviewed some survivors.
We were also thankful to be able to have this experience and learn so many touching stories, and I know that we can't wait to be back next year.
And we would like to formally apologize to Sean.
With that being said, thank you to Heartland, and here is our final interview segment. Hi, so I see you got some fun colors going on tonight. So, what film are you representing tonight?
Volcano Man.
Okay, tell me a little about Volcano Man.
Yeah, well, it's a story of myself and my dad.
I live
essentially.
on a volcano.
He lives on a volcano, a dormant one. But essentially his wife, my mum, passed away, and he started filming himself in the grief from the day afterwards, essentially. And then that, I found those tapes, made a film out of it, allowed me to process my own grief, allowed me to talk about it in a way that I guess typically, well in Australia anyway, blokes don't really talk about a lot. So yeah, real cathartic, experience, and one about you and I.
It sounds like a heavy-duty film, but it is a serious subject, but it's actually quite entertaining. There's quite a lot in this film. It's not just doom and gloom.
Yeah, it sounds like a very emotional story, but it also, like, the light, you seem like such a light, so I bet there is some of that in there too as well. So yeah. Well, thank you for speaking with me tonight, and congratulations on your film.
Thanks very much. Have a great festival.
Thank you, you too.
We'd like to thank previous Real Deal alumni for giving us the opportunity to join this amazing experience.
I know I'm definitely looking forward to next year, as we already have some great plans.
What would you like to see from us at Heartland next year?
More interviews, vlogs.
Let us know down below.
And now, for final words. Hey guys, it's Josh, and welcome back to Josh and Around. Today I'm going to talk about my favorite recent podcast, which is the Broski Report by Brittany Broski. Her recent episode discussed going to meet and interview Hosier, which is one of her favorite artists. I think something that's really cool about Brittany Broski is she comes from like the whole like fangirl demographic. So I know like growing up, when I was like a bookworm and all of that, like I was like big into like being like a fan and like a fandom, like Dan and Phil, like classic fandoms. And what she's really done is like she's taken that and kind of used it as a catapult to actually like interview these amazing artists that she loves. Like Hosier is just an example, but she released a vlog last year where she literally met Harry Styles, and that's just insane. And I know that like one of her closest friends, Trixie Mattel, like she was a fan of Trixie before that before they were friends. So I just think that's really awesome that she was able to go from like ground zero to ground slay, and we really slayed at the Heartland Film Festival. So back to that.
Hi guys, my name's Maggie, and these are my final words. I just have one question for you guys. Halloween is coming up in a couple of weeks, and I do not know what costume I want to wear. So I have 3 choices, and just comment down below what you think I should wear. Patrick Bateman, Tinkerbell, or Jennifer from Jennifer's Body. Thank you guys. As always, thanks for watching. If you want to see anything else from us here at The Real Deal, be sure to check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and our website for all things entertainment news. I'm Maggie.
And I'm Josh. Thanks for watching.